I'm Janine Turner. We're going to be showing wonderful PSAs, which are commercials, and movies, which are short films, as well as songs created and directed and produced by our student winners of our We the Future contest. You're going to be amazed. You're not even going to know students did this. They're professional, poetic, and patriotic. Better than Madison Avenue, better than Hollywood. First, it's a PSA by a high school student, Laura Lee Hicks of Mississippi. If you had something powerful, that's what she named it. She won a few years ago. Wonderful PSA. We play it all the time. And it's also aired on television because of you. Because of the money you donate, we hire a company to actually air the students' winnings PSAs millions of times in millions of households all across the country. Same thing with our songs. Same thing with the short films. So it's amazing for these student winners, because this Laura Lee Hicks told us that she didn't even know it was going to be on television. And then she said, Mom, come look, my PSA is on television. So it's very exciting and a real career boost as well, I might add. So first, it's a PSA, which is 1 minute. And then it's high school student Katie Crosby's short film, which has had hundreds of thousands of hits on social media through Constituting America, forthcoming Life in America.
If you had something that you were given, something you loved, something that others wanted so badly but were denied it, something that you used and relied on every single day. If you had something special, something beautiful, something powerful, if you had something absolutely essential to securing your health, happiness, and safety, if you treasured something so much that you were willing to die for that something, if you knew that others already had, and if someone had given you a document that protected that something, wouldn't you take the time to read it?
Mom, Dad, it's me. Today is October 27th, 2050. Still recording on this old camera, the one we used to use when times were better. It's starting to get cold outside, so I found a place to stay for the night. You left us with nothing but a damaged nation and little hope. I'm living in a country ruled by a dictatorship, and the government controls anything it wants to. They manage the people with fear of losing everything. Yes, I'm still living in the United States, if you can still call it that, even after all that's happened. It's not like I can leave anyway. I have no money. I'm homeless. I'm still making these videos for you, even though there is little chance that you will ever see them. If I get caught, I'm going to get punished for doing this. But I have to do this. You need to know the consequences of your actions. We lost everything because of you. People are scared. We have no rights. We are forced to do what the government says or we suffer. They have so much power over us. They manipulated you, and you let them. First, they promised you things like easy access government programs, and people took advantage of it. And the government knew it. They knew that you would. Then they started proposing new things that more and more people could take advantage of. They even used bribery anything they could to make you like them, to make you want them in charge. They started making decisions for the states on things like healthcare and education, instead of letting the states choose for themselves. And you let it. That gave them more power. But life was good for you. You didn't have to work as hard, and the government took care of you. And then they started taking things away from you, controlling everything. They forced you to do things, to give up your freedoms for your necessary resources. Poverty levels spiked. People started to lose their homes and were punished if they spoke out about it. Crime went through the roof. The media couldn't tell us the truth because the government took over the media. They wrote a new Bill of Rights basically saying that we have no freedoms. We can't protect ourselves with guns because they took them away from us. We can't speak freely or else we will get arrested. We can't practice any religion unless the government approves of it. The government will arrest people for even looking at them wrong. This all happened because of you. You let the government have this much power. Your generation did not follow, didn't even care about the one thing that protected us all from this corruption: the Constitution. Did you know what it did for you? How it could have helped you? It was placed there to protect our freedoms and to limit the government's power. It seemed like you didn't care at all. I mean, if you really cared about the United States or cared about our future, you would have paid attention, right? No. You thought that learning about a 2-century-old paper couldn't do anything. But it could have. This mess our country is in is the product of your generation's ignorance. All there is left for us is to try to clean up your mess, if we can. This wouldn't have happened if you followed what our founding fathers wrote in the Constitution, and if you would have studied it and paid attention. Why did you do this to us? Did you even care? I have to go now.
Wasn't that great? Aren't they amazing? Okay. I'm still mesmerized. That's why I thought this night would be fun. It's a movie night. We get to show all of the great works, not all, but just a fraction of the great works the students have done over the past 11 years with Constituting America. Now, tonight you can make a one-time donation or become what I think is cool, a monthly sustaining member. You can become a member, and it doesn't have to be much, $1, $5, $10 a month, whatever you can. I just think it'd be fun for us to know one another as a monthly sustaining member. Now, when you make any type of donation tonight, you will receive a free poster. You can see 25 things the government can't make you do. It's really wonderful. A fantastic poster. So if you donate anything tonight, you receive one of these posters, which people love. These videos are directed and produced by Constituting America. Once again, that means they're produced by you because you are donors and it's your money that makes all this possible. Because your donations go toward all these amazing programs. What are those programs? Mentor trips, really cool Washington, D.C. trip. They get to go to the White House. I mean, it's just amazing. School speeches. I've given over 600 of these school speeches into the schoolrooms. It's amazing. The Constitutional Chats podcast that we do every Monday, the 90-day studies, the winter promotions. Remember the millions of plays these PSAs and short films and songs are having across the country? That's because of you. You are the wind beneath our wings. So when we get to our next song, you can donate via text or calling the number 888-937-0917. Why 917? Because September 17th is Constitution Day. Or you can point your camera at the QR code, and that will bring up the link. So you can text or call, and you can do this during our next fantastic song.
We've got a kind of liberty. It's prestigious. We've got a kind of freedom. It's religious. So if you love it, defend it. If you don't like it, amend it. So if you spread your faith from door to door, or if you never said a prayer before, it's not about whose church is wrong or right. It's just about the civil right in this country. It's not about always being the same. I can't believe what feels right to me in this country. My faith is under my control. I'm the governor of my soul. You and I can choose who we should be in this country. We can ensure tranquility. It's domestic. Ooh, and those purple mountains, the majestic. So if you're Muslim or Christian, you'll always be our full citizen. So you can worship as you please, or you could never get down on your knees. Oh, it's not about whose church is wrong or right. It's just about the civil right in this country. It's not about always being the same. I can't believe what feels right to me in this country. My faith is under my control. I'm the governor of my soul. You and I can choose who we should be in this country. It's our choice. It's our voice in this country. It's our choice. It's our voice in this country. It's our choice. It's our voice in this country.
One of our biggest problems today is that we are afraid to have others challenge our mindset, and therefore we avoid topics that could lead to challenging conversations. At a young age, we're told not to talk about anything that is remotely divisive, but without having challenging conversations, how do you know that what you're saying is your truth and not just something you were raised to believe? Having conversations is how we learn. It's important to be able to see the other sides of things in order to form an opinion and choose what's best for you. Let's say you were raised to shower with all your clothes on. You can go through life thinking that is the best way to get clean, and if you never meet anyone brave enough to talk about hygiene, then you will never know that there is a better way. There's no reason to be afraid of differences. Limiting yourself to certain topics can render yourself unable to talk to friends, co-workers, or even family. To avoid challenging conversations is the same as to keep your mind trapped in a little box. Open your box. It's an American thing. AmericanThing.org.
Amendment 19. Amendment 13, Section 1.
Amendment 14, Section 1.
Amendment 3. Amendment 15, Section 1.
The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex.
Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the subject shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction.
All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privilege or immunity of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws.
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise therefor,
or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press.
The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude.
So when I think of the Constitution, I think of, lots of freedom in all areas of life.
people here should really appreciate all the process that led this country to live under this constitution today. And if they ever experienced life under constitution of countries where, especially third world countries and countries who are governed by religion, then they will be there for a shock.
As an artist in America today, it's really hard to picture a time or a place where you don't have that freedom to go out and to create and to say and to do what you believe and what you think.
I would say I'm pretty fortunate to live in a country where my vote does matter and my voice is heard, because I've been to other places around the world that my family would go visit, and I see where the exact opposite is reality, where women don't have a right to speak, where they don't have a right to vote, and they're just faces in the background.
When my American cousins who were born here have come to the Netherlands, they feel constricted. They feel like everything is smaller, everything is more heavily populated, and everything is regulated. Absolutely everything is regulated.
Well, the religious freedom that we have there, first, it's a one religion land. So people who they are of a different faith, they suffer a lot. For us also of the Muslim faith, most of the country the majority are Sunni, but for us as Shia, it's very difficult for us to even show that we are, because the freedom is what the government allows you to believe and practice.
We don't protest, or we don't do a lot of things because you would really being punished for it. You know what I mean? You don't have a freedom like to go cause a riot or burn the flag or marching. You don't really have that like in the United States.
We have this group that they walk around there. They're supposed to be like the moral police, and those group that if by mistake that even something fell off your head, the covering or anything, they immediately whip you. They have a stick and they whip you with that.
If you're talented here, you're probably gonna, with a little luck and a little help from a few people, you're gonna rise to the top. Where in Netherlands, in some of the European countries, in Netherlands specifically, let's say if you're really, really talented, but you may not ever be allowed in because of the number of people, or in some cases, medical students, for instance, it's by lot. You throw your hat in the ring every year to see if you can get medical school. And if your number doesn't get picked out, it doesn't matter how good you are. If your number doesn't get picked out, you don't get to go.
Back in our country, they used the religion to oppress us. They used the religion to take our freedom. They used the religion to control the country, to control the wealth, to control the resource, to make decisions that only serve the interest of the kingdom and the people in the government there. The chaos that happens in the region there created a big vacuum that was attractive to all kinds of bad people, thugs and people who they make money on killing, and those are named terrorist groups. Unfortunately, those same groups are using Islam to steal people's money, to kill, to take over little towns, to rape women, to steal money, to commit all kinds of heinous crimes. And that's, unfortunately, that's the new look of Islam now in America, in Europe, in many of the countries, even in our own countries. People, they think that those are Muslim people. They have nothing to do with Islam.
Well, when I first came to Coffee Cup Diner here, I was told that they have KKK marching in front of the courthouse and not to go there on Saturday morning. And it kind of stunned me that in 1999, KKK still marching in front of the courthouse because there were protection of the law, federal law saying that you cannot prejudice by the race or the color of your skin.
The right for people to vote, regardless of their ethnicity, is something that has not always been granted throughout America's history, and it is something that I'm very grateful for.
It allows who I am underneath, particularly in theater or in makeup or in painting. It allows one to express who you are through a different medium.
I was adopted, so when I half grew up here, when I'm growing up here, I have the same rights as the other Americans. So like growing up, but like yeah.
I don't think I could find a job like mine where I do choir and, organize solos and ensembles and play the organ and piano and the handbell choir. I don't think there's any jobs like that in the Netherlands, for instance, quite like that.
Women's suffrage, the right for women to vote, the right for women to work, all these things that are important to us women today were done thanks to the amendments and thanks to that process that the Founding Fathers put in originally.
And because people have the right to vote, they are able to have a say in the government and who they are to be represented by, which is also very important.
Living in the United States as a Muslim or as Christian or any faith, you can practice your religion comfortably, however you want it. There is no fear of prosecution, there is no fear of missing any opportunities. You get the opportunities of work, study, everything as anyone who has no religion or a different religion than you are.
I have a lot of freedom here. There's a lot of opportunity here if I work hard.
Basically, if you have the talent and the drive, then I think the American system is probably more rewarding in that sense.
Welcome back. Once again, I'm Janine Turner, actress, but also co-founder and co-president of Constituting America. Welcome. Boy, Faithfully was amazing, and her short film. But she's in Hollywood as a filmmaker now. And one of the wonderful things we do, that means you, because the donors or the wind beneath the wings that make these programs happen, is we encourage students to use their talents, whatever it may be, STEM or song or or a short film or directing, PSA, essays, to use that and then to understand how the Constitution gives them that right and that joy and protects that and why the Constitution is important. And then they take that into their career, into the future with them. And so now Faith Lou's out there making movies somewhere. And at some point through Constituting America, she was inspired to really have to think about the Constitution. So she's out there making movies thinking about the Constitution. So isn't that wonderful? That's how it works. So you can make a one-time donation, or what I think would be cool is to become a member of our family as well, by becoming a monthly sustaining member. And it doesn't take much. It could be $1, $2, $5, $10 as a monthly sustaining member. And you can right now, you can text that number or call that phone number and talk to Jeanette. I'm sure Jeanette would love to speak with you. Jeanette's on our team here. She gives speeches with me all over the country. You can hold up your camera to that scan button, and it will send you to a link, and you get a free poster. You can also text. You get a free poster, really cool. 25 things the government can't make you do if you make a donation tonight. So your donation tonight is the wind beneath our wings. You make all of our programs possible. Tonight, there's a team working behind the scenes tonight. You make tonight possible. The mentor trips, the school speeches. I've given over 600 of these school speeches. We've given thousands of students and hundreds of schools. The Constitutional Chats podcast every Tuesday, the 90-day studies, which this year is on the Declaration of Independence, super cool. Our winter promotions, that's when we promote companies to promote the contest winners, student contest winners, songs millions and millions of times on the radio or on television. All happens because of you, because you're the wind beneath our wings. Next, let me tell you about our next talented, amazing group here. This song is Courtney Janeka. She's this year's winner, Courtney Janeka. Kathy, we just promoted her song. We re-recorded her song and promoted it on the radio. And it's like my friends, it's because of you who donate that make these programs possible, because we have to hire these companies. And we hired this company out of Nashville. They promoted her song, and she's like number 2 between Taylor Swift. Or tell us.
Courtney hit the top 5 of most streamed on Play MPE's platform. And that's the platform that most radio stations use to download their music. And then also number 2, I think it was top 5 most downloaded, number 2 on most streamed on Play MPE. And she was right above Trisha Yearwood.
She beat Garth Brooks' wife, Trisha Yearwood. Look at that. Look at that, my friends. So this is Courtney Janeka. This is not the re-recorded version of her song, but it's still fantastic. I love it. This is her entry that she entered into the contest. So she did this video. It's the only video tonight that we did not do. She did this video and wrote the song, performed it. It's amazing. So that's next, Courtney Janeka. And the PSA college student, Jorn Gilbert, who's also on our Constitutional Chats. This is his commercial. You're going to love it. I think it's wonderful. And then, my friends, we have Karen Sue's 2 amazing young sons, Wyatt Hensley and Jonah Hensley of Missouri, and Haley Moak, our fabulous Haley Moak, who won the first year we launched 11 years ago. And every year we get to see Haley. She's just amazing. She's a beautiful young woman now. Wyatt, Jonah, and Haley in black and white, my friends, have produced this fantastic movie, As America Turns.
Starry sky, I am ready to fly. Sea to shining sea, I can just be me. 1787 in Independence Hall, 39 men signed the Constitution, securing liberty for all. 51st, 6th, and 9th, it's protecting my rights. Preamble in the bills makes my future bright. And it's all thanks to the freedom it includes. justice or liberty. From the 1st, 6th, and 9th, it's protecting my rights. Preamble in our bills makes my future bright. And it's all thanks to the freedom it includes. Living free of persecution. It's our constitution. Believe, speak, live. Make your voice known. This is not just a country. We've made it our home. Believe, speak, live. Make your voice known. This is not just a country. We've made it our home. From the 1st, 6th, and 9th, it's protecting our rights. Preamble in the bills make the future bright. And it's all thanks to the freedom it includes. Living free of persecution. It's our Constitution.
As Americans, we celebrate all the things that make us different. So what is the thing that connects us? The thing that makes us Americans? It's simple. It's our shared belief that we are Americans.
We the people of the United States, in order to form more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings and secure to ourselves and our posterity, and do ordain and establish the date to establish the United States of America.
That belief that we each can be who we are and live the life we dream in harmony with each other is in our system, right in the words of the Constitution. Know your Constitution. It's who you are, it's who we are.
For the next few minutes, As America Turns, starring Jonah Hensley, Haley Moak, and Wyatt Hensley.
Mom, Dad, you won't believe what my U.S. history teacher is making us do.
What is it, sweetie?
He's making us learn about the United States Constitution.
Oh, that's great.
No, it's not great.
What do you mean that's not great? That's one of our founding documents.
So?
So, that's been with us the entire time America's been a country.
Let me guess, you were there when it was written?
Excuse me?
All I'm saying is the Constitution's old, outdated, and too long.
Well, that's the law of the land you're talking about.
Well, they could have made the law of the land a little bit shorter.
Boys, stop it. Junior, the U.S. Constitution is one of our most important documents.
Thank you.
It's really very simple. There are 6 big ideas in the Constitution. We can talk about them.
Here we go again.
The first big idea is limited government. It's a political system in which legalized force is restricted through delegated or enumerated powers.
Huh?
Power specifically given to the government.
Oh, okay.
Junior, don't you know a government big enough to give you everything you want is strong enough to take everything you have? That's my man, Thomas Jefferson, for you.
Oh, okay. It's not as bad as I... Wait a minute.
Now you see, Junior.
But we're not done yet. The next idea is separation of powers. The power is divided into 3 branches of government. Executive, which is the president, judicial, which is the Supreme Court, and legislative, which is the Congress.
I think I'm all 3 branches of government in this household.
Who cooks, cleans, and does all the sewing?
Fair enough.
But why are there 3 branches for one government?
The founding fathers didn't want one branch to become too powerful or controlling.
Well, Very good. Very good history lesson. I think we're done for the day. So I'm going to the library. Yeah, the library. Okay, bye.
Junior, sit down and listen to your mother.
Now, the fourth big idea is checks and balances.
I got this one, honey. Each branch has the ability to restrain by amending or vetoing the acts of the other two branches.
Oh, you mean like when Mom overrules you, Dad?
Now, Junior, we share power in this house just like the government.
Whatever you say, dear.
Okay, I'm understanding more of the importance of the Constitution.
That's good, but we aren't done yet. We still have a little thing called republicanism.
Are you talking about the political party?
Not exactly. Republicanism is a type of government in which leaders are elected for a specific group of people for a specific amount of time.
Now, Junior, that's just your mother's fancy way to say term limits. It makes the government more responsive.
You're correct, sweetheart.
Of course I am.
The next big idea is federalism.
Wait, so we have republicanism and federalism?
Yes. Federalism is power divided between a larger government and a smaller local government.
Federalism is a good thing. It allows central government to be powerful enough to be more effective, and it also allows state governments to handle local issues.
Makes sense.
And our final idea is popular sovereignty.
Speaking of sovereignty, this sovereign's got to go to work. Someone's got to pay the bills around here. Now, Junior, sit right there until your mama's finished.
Okay, yes, sir. Bye. Love you.
Love you, honey. Now, with popular sovereignty, the government is created at the will of the people.
All right.
What the people give can also be taken away.
Okay. Is that all the big ideas?
That is.
Okay, it's not as bad as I thought it would be.
I told you.
I guess I'm going to have to read the Constitution now.
That's good.
I'm going to go read it. Love you, Mom.
Even though this film is supposed to be humorous, what is not funny is the lack of knowledge in America about the Constitution.
If we are to remain an independent nation, our citizens must know the supreme law of the land.
Our American rights and freedoms must be declared and protected. The 6 big ideas are vital knowledge for everyone.
Read your Constitution.
Know your rights.
And protect your freedom.
Hi, we're back. Wasn't that fantastic? So that's Courtney's song. I found out that she was underneath Toby Keith. It was Toby Keith, right, Kathy? Toby Keith and our winner, Courtney Janeka, number 2, and then Trisha Yearwood. How cool is that? And it's just fantastic. I love Jordan Gilbert's PSA, and Jonah Wyatt and Haley won Best Cinematography this year because I just thought their cinematography was fantastic. I'm going to remind you that we're excited to announce that our board member, Tim Bowling, has just put up $2,500 matching grant. Now, what's matching grant? That means we don't receive the $2,500 unless we raise that tonight. So your contribution of $10 becomes $20. So if you give $5, he gives $5. It's really cool. For every dollar you contribute, Tim will match up to $2,500. And you can make a one-time donation, or which I think is super cool, become a monthly sustaining member. $5, $10, anything you want, monthly sustaining member. Once again, you can do it by scanning, by texting, or by calling that phone number, and you win a poster. Do you see that cool poster? 25 things the government cannot make you do. All right, once again, you are the wind beneath our wings, and you are the sponsor of all of these great programs, the mentor trips to DC, all these companies we hired to promote the winners' works, to re-record their songs, and even to this tonight, 90-day studies, everything we do, you're the wind beneath our wings, and you make that happen. And our next song is Emily Vanderwerken. Woo! She wrote a fantastic song, It's a Shame. She won, when she won as a contest winner, we flew her to Texas, where she re-recorded her song, and we filmed this wonderful music video with her. Listen to the words. She's quite the poet. She's also won for 2 or 3 public service announcements with us because she's just extraordinarily talented. So this is her music video, and you're going to see her PSAs later. And then you're going to see a high school student, and Emily did that when she was in college, this song, and a high school student, Lily Kring, like ring with a K, Kring, Lily Kring. Love her PSA. It's your choice. Wait till you see how professional this is. And then we have our movie by high school student Lindsay Larkin of Maryland, The U.S. Constitution, Sacred or Sinister. Here we go, everybody. This is going to be about 8, 9, 10. I'll see you in about 13, 14 minutes. Meanwhile, during the song, don't forget to donate. And if the text isn't working, you can call Jeanette or use the little scanner code, the QR code. All right, see you soon. Hope you enjoy the movies.
Paragraphs in a textbook. I was too young to remember those events from that September when the world shook, and the older generation passing down the nation screams at me. It's a shame you don't remember the past has shaped the future. It's a shame you don't remember what was felt. It's a shame that when those planes crashed in the towers up in smoke, you didn't see how we, a country, came together over broken hearts to start again. The mystery is in history that repeats itself. The younger ones never seem to learn how their mamas felt. An old man in a nursing home, abandoned by his family. They say he's going crazy, sees a war zone. A veteran of a nation, of people gone complacent, cries in his sleep. It's a shame they don't remember the past has shaped their future. It's a shame they don't remember what was felt. It's a shame that when my bodies were flown home, they didn't see how we, a country, prayed together for a hope from God to start again. Yeah, the mysteries in history that repeats itself. The younger ones never seem to learn how their mamas felt. The mysteries we have all, we need to govern ourselves, but we give it away every time we say the past won't help. We deserve life, liberty, our basic human needs. Our rights are protected, but we reject them so easily. A declaration and a constitution, they were written by our fathers, but now no one even bothers their corruption. If the founders of our nation saw our situation, they would be ashamed we don't remember the past that shaped our future, and ashamed we don't remember what they felt and dealt with. Ashamed that after wars fought over freedom for our sakes, we still won't see how they, the people, dreamed together they could make a nation that was free. And the mysteries in history that repeats itself. The younger ones really need to learn how their mamas felt.
Life is a journey, and it's hard to know which direction to go. there are many voices trying to tell you what is right and what is wrong. What is fact and what's fiction. In these times, we need a guide, a compass.
The good old American Constitution. Some love it, some hate it, and some don't even know what it is. So what's the big idea? Is America's Constitution sacred or sinister? Do we have the supreme system of government, or are we behind the times? Trying to uncover the answers to these questions in today's opinionated world can be like trying to scale a mountain while wearing roller skates. Now that's where I come in. I'll present the straight facts and we can decide together. We'll take a look at some of the key American constitutional principles and take a trip around the globe to see how our system of government stacks up. First off, what best protects citizens' rights? Let's take a look at America's founding document. When most people think of the American Constitution, they probably picture old men in wigs. But after that, they usually think of the Bill of Rights, one of America's most popular aspects of the Constitution. As Americans, we know that this document protects many of our individual rights by law. So how does our protection of individual freedoms stack up against other countries? Let's take a trip around the world. First up, Australia. This country is usually thought of as a modern and well-governed nation. However, Australia is a country without a Bill of Rights. Here, a federal parliament decides what rights to grant citizens and who will be protected by these rights. According to the Parliament of Australia, quote, the prevailing view was that Australia did not need a Bill of Rights because basic freedoms were adequately protected by the common law and by the good sense of elected representatives. Now, let's think about this for a moment and look at some of the key words here. Regardless of any political views, does it ever make sense to put your rights in the hands of elected representatives? Even if you support your elected official, do you really want to give them the power to take away your rights? Should we place that much trust in politicians? Here is just one example of infringement upon the freedom of speech in Australia.
Federal governments have passed more than 70 pieces of legislation criminalising aspects of journalism. A Senate inquiry on this very issue continues in Canberra, but starting yesterday, the entire media industry is joining forces on a campaign to support the right of the public to know. You'll have seen this on the front pages of newspapers yesterday. Every front page was deliberately censored, as opposed to the caption which said, your right to know. In other words, the front page was a metaphor of the problem. What information was crossed out? The inference is, when this happens, we're not smart enough or mature enough to digest such information. Successive governments of both persuasions have taken the view that they will determine what we have a right to know. And if you step out of line, government and its instrumentalities like the federal police will go after you.
Because Australians' rights are not specifically outlined in a founding document, the government has more freedom to control the public. Something like this would never occur in America because everyone is protected under the Constitution, not just the people in power. Our next point to cover is power and corruption. What does the American Constitution have to say about that? Well, our Constitution ensures that no one person can single-handedly change the American system. Our government is split up into 3 separate branches and filled with people from all across America with differing values and opinions. This forces us to communicate, share ideas, and create bipartisan solutions to issues facing the country. Now, although the separation of powers does lend itself to political squabbles, which can be annoying, frustrating, and even comical at times, debate is still vital to our nation's identity. We must have opposing views to balance power. Now, let's take a look at the Chinese method of balancing power. Well, there really isn't one. China is a single-party state, meaning that anything Chinese leadership says goes. In 2018, the Chinese people entered into a dictatorship when presidential term limits were abolished. President Xi Jinping and Chinese leadership can do whatever they want because they have full control over China. At that point, the Chinese citizens and their needs are just an afterthought. Let's recap. In America, our Constitution protects us from corrupt, power-hungry politicians because power is limited. However, in places like China, there are no limits on power, which has resulted in religious persecution, excessive surveillance, and even censorship. Next up, localized power. The American Constitution states that state governments should have greater power than the federal government, meaning that if you live in Indiana, someone from DC cannot control every aspect of your life. Every state has its own unique needs. That is why localized government works. What an ingenious idea, right? Well, sadly, many other countries do not agree with this. In places like Venezuela, there is one dictator who rules over everyone and opposition is not tolerated. This nation is in an economic shambles and is in clear violation of human rights standards. According to Lawfare, quote, in the 1970s, Venezuela was among the richest countries in the world. It maintained a robust constitutional democracy with peaceful transfers of power. Yet only a few decades later, Venezuela suffers from a brutal dictatorship that has dismantled all democratic institutions. End quote. Power must be spread out. In America, we have a founding document that forces us to do this. Sadly, other countries are not as fortunate. In life, there are a lot of gray areas, like whether you should say thank you to a thank you note, or how you should react to someone who says they like pineapple on their pizza.
Ew.
Fortunately, this is not the case in our Constitution. Our rights are clearly outlined and do not change. Many countries have adopted versions of America's Constitution, but few truly provide free speech for citizens. On top of this, their rights are subject to change depending on who's in charge. Could you imagine having your rights in the hands of some elected official? This is the stark reality in many other countries. There are officials who would like to implement this into the American system of government. A living constitution would destroy our nation's principles, and we must fight against it. Finally, the U.S. Constitution establishes how to properly conduct elections in America. We use an electoral college. This way, the minority has a voice, and the presidential pick represents the entire country. If we shifted to a popular vote, places like California, New York, and Texas would dominate the vote. Political candidates would only visit these states, and every other state would lack representation. Selecting a leader using the popular vote may work for smaller countries, but it would destroy America. The American Constitution is at the heart of our nation's values. It protects us from greedy politicians looking for their next power grab, clearly outlines our rights, and proclaims that all Americans are equal regardless of status or position. Freedom is our guiding principle, and the Constitution is our how-to manual. Regardless of our political beliefs, the United States Constitution unites us all.
Wasn't that fun? I put my glasses on because I have my contacts in. Emily Vanderwerken's song is really, really special, and her voice is beautiful. And I absolutely love Lily Kring with a K, Lily Kring. I love it. I love her PSA. On Constitution Day, we are going to be having a live presentation, like 4 hours, bringing on the winners and mentors to teach kids how to enter the contest and to learn about the Constitution. We'll probably even read the Constitution. I think we did that the other year. It's going to be a great program. And we'll bring Lily on to talk about her conception of that wonderful PSA, the compass, and I just think it's incredibly professional. I love the music as well. So congratulations, Lily. Both Lily won this year and Emily didn't win this year. Well, she always wins, but this year Lily won this year, and Lindsay won this year. U.S. Constitution, Sacred or Sinister, which I think is really thought-provoking. Those things are happening in Australia. You can make a one-time donation, or you can become a monthly sustaining member. I just love saying that, monthly sustaining member. $5, $10, whatever you would like to do. It doesn't have to be much. So we would love for you to become part of the family. You can scan this little scanner jobber there. You can text us, or you can call Jeanette. I think Jeanette actually got a caller, 888-937-0917. Jeanette, tell us what's going on. Jeanette, Kathy, give us an update.
Teresa Speak is in California, and she's hanging out with some friends, and she called in and she donated $200.
Woo!
So thank you so much to Teresa, and hello to you. She's out in Central Valley, California, and it's very warm out there too, but she called in to say they're having a wonderful time. She just loves constituting America, and you and Kathy and all of the hard work that you do.
Oh,
So thank you again, Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa, and thank you, Jeanette.
Oh, you're welcome.
And once again, these donations you're the wind beneath our wings that makes all of our programs possible. Even tonight, we had a winner call in who was thanking us for the scholarship money that she received from with contest winners receive scholarship money. They get to meet with mentors and have an amazing mentor trip, and we do many things to promote their works, but they also do get scholarship money. And she actually made a donation to give back for the money that we gave her. She just graduated from a law school. That was very sweet of her. We have 90-day studies, school speeches. We've given thousands of school speeches, constitutional chats, it's you who makes that happen. Truly, truly, you're the wind beneath our wings. Oh my gosh, you're gonna love this. Kurt Taylor, Caleb Thomas, and Jonathan Fraser of Texas. Let me believe. They were young students at the Barack Obama Male Leadership Academy in South Dallas. And I walked into that school 4 years in a row. And the very first year I was there, I gave one speech and they were in the room. And by the time I finished the second speech, they had written this song. I actually love their audition video. Is really also fantastic. But they won this rap song about the Constitution. And then the video you're going to see, we, meaning you, our donors, we directed and produced this fabulous video. And they had all kinds of wonderful opportunities. They sang at fairs. They were on television and on the news. They traveled to re-record their song with a Grammy Award-winning artist. It was a really wonderful opportunity. That's with our We the Future contest, and they won. So they're terrific. Next, it's going to be a PSA college, a student. Oh, here we go. Emily Vanderwerken again. Emoji, our United States are our United Fates. So it's a 30-second PSA with emoji. And then we're also going to see Tova Kaplan, the extraordinary Tova Kaplan. If you follow us on Constitutional Chats, you know Tova. You're just going to see her as whatever she wants to accomplish in the future. Ambassador to the UN or Secretary of State. Know your rights, read the Constitution. She won Best PSA for us with her PSA. And then we're going to watch college student Jacob Vanderwerken. Look at these Vanderwerkens. It's a family affair of Utah. He is on our team. He can say hi very quickly. We're going to watch his short film, which is 5 minutes, a sign language short called Speech is More Than Speaking. Hello, Jacob Vanderwerken.
Hi, I'm still here. So my wife, Emily, she had learned about Constituting America before I did. And so she introduced me to the great organization. Both of us were in college at the time and studying at Brigham Young University. And she had, as Janine had said, won multiple times with Constituting America. And so I figured I'd give it a go as well. And so I made a short film about how the freedom of speech is something that means more than just verbally speaking. And so more of that conceptual idea of what speech represents and showed that through my love of sign language.
Talk about love of sign language. When you showed up for your trip a couple of years ago, we asked you to sign for a kind of a press conference roundtable discussion, and you were up on that stage forever for our whole show, our Constitution.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun at the Department of Education.
Signed for a very long time. I was worried you were going to faint, but you were a trooper, and you're now our strategic
Thank you.
manager of the company, so of our foundation. So we think you're terrific, as is Emily.
Yeah.
all of our great ads and do our social media. So we're just thrilled you're with us tonight, Jacob. And you'll
Well,
get to
thank
see soon. Izzy's a former winner, and she'll show her face in a little bit too, on the team behind what's happening today. All right, Jacob, we look forward to seeing your works, and I will see you in about 10 minutes.
Entitled to me says that I could be a Christian or a Buddhist truthfully. See the First Amendment rights, protect them day and night. The freedom of religion, what I'm spitting be so tight. Abide by the Constitution, if you don't, man, you tripping. The First Amendment rights, raps, the first one is religion. The next one is assembly, if you really do listen. And man, I like to listen. Yeah, I pay attention. And if you in that office and you don't pay attention, and nobody likes you, that's what we get that petition. And I can say you wrong, and the pastors they can preach, cause amendment number 1 says the freedom of speech. JP.
What I wanna believe. Let me be me. Show you what your eyes can see.
My country was built upon a revolution. Cannons blasting, guns shooting for this thing we call a constitution. They like, what it is, what is that? I'm like, sit back and relax. I'ma tell you all about that in this here little rap. My founding fathers are the authors of this document. Amendments keep me free out the penitence. Doing sentences, Washington, Hamilton, Jefferson, Franklin. Got hundreds in my pocket, so you know I hang with him. First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom to believe in whatever I want, from Allah to the G-O-D, and freedom of petition. Finally, freedom of assembly, so we can get together, let our voices sing.
Let me be free to believe what I wanna believe. Let me be me. Show you what your eyes can see. I'ma be me till the day I die. Can't stop me even if you try. I'm gonna believe what I believe. With my faith I believe a Jesus lead.
We gonna cut that out. I think that's copyright.
We just having fun.
Young or old, black or white, or anything in between. From employees to entrepreneurs, doctors to detectives, some things define us and set us apart. But there's one thing that binds us. Before anything, we are one thing.
Hello, I want to talk to you about the Constitution. Oh wait, I know, you're probably spacing out already, and I get that, but pay attention. This is super important.
When you hear the word Constitution, what do you think of? Do you picture a yellow document with old cursive written on it? The thing is, the Constitution is so much more than that. It protects our very liberties and freedoms, and am I losing you again? Look, here's an example. Let's say you hate this PSA, right? So you go online and complain, hashtag I hate this PSA. The government can't persecute you for that. And yeah, I know, big deal, right? But it is a big deal. In other countries, you can be jailed or worse just for speaking your mind. The only thing that protects us is our Constitution. But here's the thing. If you don't know your rights, what's to stop someone from taking advantage of them? That's why it's so important to know your rights and read the Constitution.
great. What a great segment there. We have the husband and wife team. We had Emily Vanderwerk. We knew Emily first as Emily Kitzmiller. And then she married Jacob. So we have Jacob and Emily. Emily did the emoji PSA and Jacob did the silence. Really terrific, really terrific. They're just both so incredibly talented. And Tova, who we love. I don't know if Tova's with us tonight. Tova, love yours as well. And couldn't get any better than Kurt, Caleb, and Jonathan doing their rap song about the Constitution. I mean, please, let's talk. Okay, so I was just looking here. Wow, okay. So Jacob, your film, and when we do our mentor on Constitution Day, I hope you'll do it with us and you can mentor kids when they come on for Constitution Day. Your film has been accepted and aired. Okay, this is one of the things that your donation makes possible. We promote our student winners' works, PSAs on television, songs on the radio, and these shorts into film festivals. It's a lot of work to do all those entries. It costs money to enter them into film festivals. And gosh, looky here. You were selected in film festivals in Hollywood, California, Beverly Hills, Alexandria, Virginia, Teaneck, New Jersey, Chicago, Illinois, New York, Hollywood again, Tampa, Las Vegas, and New York. That's super cool, right, Jacob?
I didn't even know all of those, so that's really great. That is super cool.
You didn't even know that, did you? Kathy just copied and pasted that to me. Accepted and aired at the following film festivals submitted by. Well, hey, pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
I did a short and I didn't have anybody to help me enter them, and I didn't get in all those film festivals. That's really fun. So congratulations. It's really, really terrific, Jacob. So once again, you can scan this button, the QR code with your camera on your phone, and it will bring up the link. You can text Constituting USA to 51555 or call and speak with Jeanette. The phone's ringing off the wall for Jeanette, 888-937-0917, because 9/17 is Constitution Day, 937-0917. All right, my friends. So that's what we can do there. And all this information will come up again with our next song. Okay, the song where you can donate during the song. You have 3 minutes and 24 seconds to donate. Plenty of time. College students Esteban and Domingo Harasheta, the Harasheta brothers of Texas, Free to Believe. They're also really terrific. And we filmed, where were we when we filmed that video? Constituting America, we, me, you, the donors, all of us. We paid for the production for this to be produced. Where were we, Kathy, for that one?
We were in Nashville.
Nashville, that's right. They wrote the song, of course, and we re-recorded their song for them, but also we did their music video. So this music video was sponsored by Constituting America, produced by Constituting America. And then our PSA is Colden Hinderleiter of Georgia. Really, really thought-provoking. You're gonna like that. And then our movie is Cambria Magnuson. How do you say that, Kathy?
Magnuson.
Magnuson. You know the actress here. I'm a lot of things, but I don't pronounce things really well. That's why I have to learn script, right? Cambria's from Colorado. She was in college. So we have college, high school, and college in this next segment. Some Kind of Utopia. It's really good. This short film. You're going to like it a lot. Just like all of our short films have been terrific tonight. All right. It's 10 minutes and 52 seconds, my friends, of great entertainment. And we'll be back. We have 3 more segments after this one.
So many people that I know who come from many different roads, from West Coast to the East. People like you and me, so many beliefs, all under one roof. I think I'm in love with that red, white, and blue. This is the land of I believe, and I don't have to be afraid. This is the land where I can pray. This is the place I can say we are free to believe what we want to believe. I am free to
I never thought I'd take it for granted that I could live and I could pray and I could believe what I wanted. And in this country there's a freedom of religion, but in other countries you could die just for being Christian. So believe what you believe and never forget what they said. In God we trust, for this they fought, for this they bled. Our founding fathers meant for this country to be great, and before anything else it all started with faith. Yeah, this is the land of I believe, and I don't have to be afraid. This is a land where I can pray. This is a place I can say, we are free to believe what we want to believe. I am free to believe in the love of God. This is the land of the free, home of the brave. This country was built on faith. So put your hands up in the air for the freedom of religion. The freedom of religion. The freedom of religion. We are free to believe what we want to believe. I am free to believe in the love of God. We are free to believe what we want to believe. I am free to believe in God. This is the land of the free, home of the brave. This country was built on faith. So put your hands up in the air for the freedom of religion. The freedom of religion. The freedom of religion. For the freedom of religion. The freedom of religion. The freedom of religion.
Where's my phone? Where's my newspaper? Ah. Where's my internet? I'm going to church. See you guys later. What happened to my church? What happened to my house? My phone, my newspaper, my internet, my church, now my house? How did this all happen?
I remember this moment from when I was young. A man who was much older than me was telling me of a time. He referred to that time as the good old days. His words still resonate in my head. He said it wasn't always like this. Before he could finish, though, the guards took him away. They asked what he said, and so we told him. They dispelled any beliefs we were beginning to form by claiming that his stories were only fairy tales. We were told to forget, but for some reason I haven't been able to. At the time, I didn't know why they had taken him away, but now I know that it was for our good. Speaking with such outlandish and open ideas was wrong, they say. You see, as my teacher at school explained, if you give the population too much freedom, you create an imbalance of their intended equality. Before our time, there was a human experiment that allowed people too much freedom. The experiment only culminated in a battle that led to the revised Constitution. The government commends itself that they were able to accomplish their ultimate goals without much bloodshed. They credited the elimination of the Second Amendment and confiscation of all weapons as a victory for the people. At first, there were many that tried to fight for what they saw as their right to bear arms. But for the good of the community, those people were sent to re-education camps so that they could understand and affirm the will of the government. There were no more than a few thousand that had to be imprisoned for the greater good of the community. It seems to make sense, at least to the other children, but something in me can't accept it. I had so many questions and no one seemed to be able to answer them. What would it be like to choose what I did in the future? What would it be like to be able to choose where I could live, or what I could wear, or what I could eat? Was there really unlimited energy? Did people really live into their 90s? Were citizens able to see a doctor whenever they saw it necessary? Most of the time, when I began to ask questions, the adults would scold me for having such poisonous thoughts. But the more they tried to suppress my thoughts, the harder it became to hold them inside. But then something happened. I was walking back to the compound I live in when I saw something. I knew I should have just left it alone, but I couldn't. After digging a little, I unearthed a book. It looked unlike anything I'd ever seen before. I realized it must have been from the pre-war era. But even more shocking than the book's overall appearance was the information inside. I knew I shouldn't have read it, but I couldn't put it down. It talked about a utopia of sorts, where people were free. They could think the way they wanted, talk the way they wanted, do what they wanted. It seemed limitless. As I read, I began to realize a horrible and wonderful truth. This utopia wasn't fictional. It had existed in our world, and not just in our world, but exactly where I was. Just because something did or could exist doesn't mean it always will. You have to work for it, defend it, and never let anything ever get in the way, or else you'll lose it.
Weren't those great? Didn't you love all three of those performances by these amazing students? Don't they look totally, I mean, they're so professional and so great. You wouldn't know they were college and high school students. And Cambria, where I was just looking, she was accepted into so many film festivals. and nominated for Best Documentary, which we and you, because it's your donations that give us the opportunity to do these type of things, we submit the best short films, the best short films into film festivals. That's a lot of work. And so many of our short film winners have actually been accepted to these film festivals, and some have won. Many of that you see tonight. We just read The Extraordinary List of Jacobs too. And Colton's, I think his PSA is very thought-provoking. And I love the Harishetta brothers, and their song is really, really terrific. Isn't it amazing? Kathy and I, when we first launched this in 2010, I said, Kathy, I want people to go down to be driving down the street and listening to the radio and to be tapping their foot to a song and think, this is a really great song. I love this song. And they don't even realize it's about the freedom of speech or the freedom of religion or about the Constitution. And that's how you embrace and influence the culture, as we know, through the arts. And what do we want to do? What's our mission here? Our mission at Constituting America is for everybody to understand how the Constitution protects our rights, protects our freedoms, and by balancing power and preventing tyranny. And that's one of the things we will talk about when we do our constitutional chats, and we're talking about the anti-federalists versus the federalists. There are going to be a lot of things that the anti-federalists probably were prescient about, but also the Constitution has prevented tyranny from raising its ugly head and overtaking our country now for over 2 centuries. So it really has worked. So we want to promote the nonpartisan aspects of the Constitution and how it protects our rights and protects our freedoms in this country. And what better way to do it than through the arts? We do have STEM winners and all as well, but that doesn't really work in movie night. We'll have to have a STEM night somehow. But we're trying to raise money for these fantastic programs that we have, and the mentor trip in DC that's upcoming for Constitution Day, and all these things that you see tonight, the songs and the short films. We actually promote their works on the radio and on television and short films. And we also speak about how to have a civic conversations, another program that we do. So it's your donations that make it possible. So you can scan to donate, that little QR code. I've learned that very well tonight. Hold your camera up to that. You can call 888-937-0917 or text Constituting USA to 51555. And you receive a free poster, 25 things the government cannot make you do. You can make a one-time donation, become a member of our family, or you can become a monthly sustaining member and become a member of our family. And you can do that with $5, $10, $1, it doesn't matter. We're just thrilled. And you receive a cool poster. And our next group, we have 3 more segments now, 7, 8, 9. This is 7. And we have middle school student Gabriella Tomasi. You're going to love her. She's our first rock and roller. The Constitution is the right solution. And she was in middle school when she did this. And once again, your donations made possible for her trip to re-record her song and to record this music video for her. And now we have Jacob and Emily, the team, the extraordinary team, Jacob and Emily Vanderwerken. And this is their college PSA, Ignorance Isn't Bliss. It's when we saw this that we decided that we would love to have them be a member of our team working with us with the foundation. They've just done an extraordinary job. And now, and the movie is college student Chastity Cagle, My Faith, My Life. When we saw this, we just couldn't believe it. It was so professional. It was like, it was years ago too. So we were we're still impressed. And she's been entered, has been successfully accepted to film festivals, and she may have won some awards, and Kathy can tell us about that after the break.
In the year 1789, the law of the land was established and signed. Set some rules, it was one of a kind. Here's the best part, unchanged by time.
The Constitution grants the freedom of speech, yeah, the freedom of press, yes, and the freedom of assembly. It grants the right to protest, and all of this makes the U.S. the best. Constitution, they say it's the right solution. We the people of the USA live by it every single day.
The United States Constitution holds the most basic guidelines for American citizens. It is complete with 27 amendments, and among these amendments are the Bill of Rights. These first 10 amendments specifically grant the freedom of religion, speech, and so on. The aspects of the Constitution are just as relevant in the lives of Christians as they were back in the 1700s for the Puritans. The Constitution affects the daily life of my best friend Nicolo. This is her story. As American citizens, we have the right to speak our mind and choose our faith as long as it does not interfere with the rights of others. Participating in a simple protest or writing an opinionated rant in the newspaper would not be possible without the First Amendment in the Bill of Rights. The First Amendment protects the rights of an individual by granting freedom of speech, assembly, and most importantly, religion. Nicolo Herman, a junior, attends Lowndes High School, a public school in South Georgia. Her religion as a Jehovah's Witness is viewed eccentric compared to most Baptist and Methodist churches in her community. Most Jehovah's Witnesses do not believe in the conventional holidays such as birthdays, Christmas, or Thanksgiving. They also do not recite the Pledge of Allegiance, salute to flags, or run for public office for any nation. Nicolo's struggle to abide by these rules has become extremely difficult in her community. However, her public school adequately accommodates her religious beliefs without jeopardizing her reputation as a normal high school student. An average day at Lowndes High School begins with the Pledge of Allegiance. Nicolo is aware that she must stand in respect for the flag, but she does not say the pledge along with her classmates. Her public school encourages but does not force the recitement of the pledge.
So, why didn't you say the pledge? Because it goes against my beliefs and what I stand for. Because when you pledge to the flag, you're giving your allegiance to the flag of the nation, but I pledge my allegiance to God.
Oh, so do your teachers get upset when you don't say it?
No, they understand my standpoint and where I'm coming from. They respect my beliefs, so I respect theirs. And they just allow me to stand there, and because I still got to give respect, so I stand.
Has there ever been a time when your classmates were doing something that was totally against your beliefs?
When I was in elementary school, when it was around Thanksgiving, we had to draw a turkey, but the teacher let me do a different assignment. She let me write a thank you card.
Do you want to make a Thanksgiving turkey like everybody else?
I don't believe in Thanksgiving.
Oh, well, do you want to make a thank you letter?
Sure, I'll do that.
This compromise gave Nicolo the opportunity to be a part of classroom activities as well as express her creativity and appreciation for others. Not only does the staff of public schools accommodate the religious beliefs of their students, but fellow classmates respect each other's faith as well.
Is your birthday coming up?
Yeah, in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I'll be 17.
Oh, okay. What do you want for your birthday?
You gotta worry about getting me anything because I don't celebrate birthdays.
Oh, why not?
It's just, it goes against my beliefs. But I mean, thanks for thinking about me.
During the holidays, how do you feel when people send cards or presents?
Well, I appreciate their thinking of me, even though I won't send one back during the holidays. I still tell them thank you for thinking about me, and I feel good.
When our founding fathers wrote the amendments, they primarily stressed the freedom of religion because it's the most influential element in the colonizing of America. Puritans immigrated to the New World to escape religious persecution, and it is our duties as American citizens to uphold what our ancestors strived so long to achieve. The effects of the First Amendment are present in our public school systems today. Offering alternate assignments and allowing students to freely practice their religion are evidence of the acceptance of various cultures and beliefs. All American citizens, young or old, black or white, rich or poor, are entitled to the freedom of religion, speech, and assembly. All American citizens are also entitled to be treated as an equal individual.
How do you feel Lowndes High School and the other public schools that you've attended have treated you and your religion? I think they treated me fairly because they don't criticize me, they don't pressure me to go against my religion either. They accept it and they gladly make other arrangements for me. I'm very thankful that I can walk down the hall of my school and say that I'm a proud Jehovah's Witness and not have any criticism. Very good. Oh.
There goes Chanel.
Where's Chanel?
There goes
I'm
Chanel.
trying to help you. Let me see it. All right. Let me see it.
No, y'all look dumb right now. Stop.
Fantastic. Weren't they just fantastic? So professional, Chastity Kegels, My Faith, My Life, and most thought-provoking. And we love Ignorance Isn't Bliss by the oh-so-fabulous team, Jacob and Emily Vanderwerken. And how'd you like that rock and roll song? Wasn't that fun? I just think she, well, for lack of a better word, she rocks. You can make a one-time donation and become a member of our family or become a monthly sustaining member. You could just give $5, $10, $1, become a monthly sustaining member. It will be super cool. And you receive this poster, 25 things the government cannot make you do because of our Bill of Rights. Great poster, people love it. And so here's how you donate. You can scan the QR code. I just have this down now. When we first started, I was like, what's it called? You know, I'm not a millennial. So you hold up your camera to that and it focuses and sends you a link. Or you can call Jeanette at 888-937-0917. Jeanette is on our team here. She gives the speeches with me across the country. She's just a wonderful person. 937-0917. Or you can text Constituting. You can spell that right. CONSTITUTING USA to 51555. And you can do this during our next song. We have all the information up during the song. This is Isabella. Isabella's behind the scenes with us today. And so there she is. You can say hi. This is Isabella's song. She's won twice with 2 exceptional songs. Well, what they both songs? I think. Yeah. Isabella King of Florida. Your song, the Bill of Rights, and you won. And we recorded your song and we did your music video. This is the one when you joined us in California on this mentor trip, correct? For this song?
Yeah, we went out to LA and I got to record my song. It was a very professional experience. I was starstruck when I was 17 going out to LA to record my song. It's still one of the coolest things I've ever done. And then when I won for college, I got to do this amazing tour in Washington, D.C. with you guys. And every time I wear the shoes that I brought to that trip, I'm like, oh yeah, I walked through all 3 branches of government in these shoes. We got to meet Justice Roberts. It was unforgettable. It was incredible. I'm actually wearing my State Department button that I got. So really,
that's so fun.
If you know any young professionals, definitely have them apply to the We the Future contest because it's been amazing. And now I'm honored to serve as the winter liaison for Constituting America. I'm really excited to be working with Constituting America and happy for you guys to hear my song.
Oh, and you're so incredibly talented, just like your sister. And we just think you're terrific and such an asset to our team. And we're very, very lucky. You do a lot more than winter liaison. I'll just have to say that Isabella put this entire show together today, rendering it, editing all the links together. So helping write the script, everything that we've done. You're simply terrific. We're very, very, very proud of you. And just like we are with Jacob and Emily, we're thrilled that you're with us. So now we get to see you shine. You've been behind the scenes this entire time.
I learned quite a bit about the Constitution over the past couple days putting this stuff together. So something good came out of it.
All right. So now we're going to watch Isabella's song. We're going to see Olga Jabosk and Carice Hamlet of New York. They won the very first year. I Am Freedom, I Am Knowledge. The very first year in 2010, they won holding up their camera in between class. They wrote this. It still is very, very powerful. And Kevin McCraney of Washington, the American Constitution in emoji. We're gonna watch this. It's gonna be 10 minutes and 30 seconds. You can make your donations during the song. You'll see how to do it. So we cannot wait. These works are fantastic.
It's the Bill of Rights. Just 10 amendments that unite all these states of the Union. The most important part of the Constitution. Number 1 is pretty simple, it's the freedom of religion, also of speech, press, assembly, and petition. It lets us do what we want, where we want, whenever we want, so long as it's legal. Number 2 has everybody up in arms. It's the right to keep and bear arms in order to maintain a well-regulated militia like the Coast Guard. Number 3, the army can't take over your house, even if they're quiet as a mouse. Americans dealt with that in the Revolution. Brits were annoying. Number 4, I wish my parents could see Americans have a right to privacy. The government has to have a reason to search your home. If it's the 5th you choose to plead, the case against you, you won't feed. Plus the right to due process of law and double jeopardy, not with Alex. It's the Bill of Rights. Just 10 amendments that unite all these states of the Union. The most important part of the Constitution. Number 6 is if you commit a crime, the trial can't take up too much time. Plus it will be public and super embarrassing. Number 7 gives you a jury of your peers. Even if you're put away for many, many years, at least you can say you were judged by someone like you. Contrary to my mother's belief, Amendment number 8 gives relief to excessive, cruel, or unusual punishment. Give my phone back. Number 9 is honestly pretty vague. It gives American citizens a leg to stand on. No one can take your rights away. Number 10 reserves the power of the state, but it doesn't always work out great, 'cause the states can sometimes disagree. Just ask Lincoln. That concludes our Bill of Rights. I hope that y'all have a good night, and I hope that you learned a thing or 2 or 10.
Freedom of speech, religion, and expression, knowing that you can't be censored. Freedom to bear arms, knowing that you can protect yourself. Freedom to legally defend yourself, knowing that you have the right to a fair trial by jury. Freedom to vote, knowing that any citizen can vote regardless of gender or race. Freedom to representation without corruption, knowing that you are represented by the legislative, executive, and judicial branches. I am freedom. I am knowledge. One begets the other. As a black woman, I enjoy the same inalienable rights as every other citizen in this nation. I can vote, I can work, and I can speak my mind. As a Jewish Ukrainian immigrant, I am living the American dream. The American Constitution provides me with basic rights other countries do not. We are free because we know our Constitution. Do you?
The American Constitution.
in emoji. It wasn't always yellowed with age. At a certain point in history, it was a cutting-edge document. The framers, the old guys who put it together, spent a lot of time and effort writing and revising it based on the preeminent thinkers and philosophical writings of the day. As a young country, we fought a war over its core ideas of self-determination and fair representation. There was a time in history when no one had seen a document like this one before. You might say that's cool and everything, but it's just a piece of paper, right? I mean, in a tangible sense, the Constitution can't really do anything. It can't educate a population or provide universal health care, so why does it matter? Why should we care about it? Maybe hard questions like these keep you up at night. You might ask how the Constitution affects your life, or why it's such an efficient means of governance. Well, let's answer those questions together, so you can rest easy. There's a fascinating dichotomy at work in the Constitution. It's what some might call the beating heart of the document, if you will. It's the core element that allowed it to be so influential right at the beginning and maintain that influence through the present day. We will call this force the tension between positive and negative power. To define those terms really quick, negative power is freedom from something. In contrast, positive power is the ability to do something. As we all know from grade school, the Constitution sets up the three branches of the US government. It says explicitly what they can do. That's the positive power we talked about. And there's a reason for it. The state needs a powerful body of rules to determine what it can do, how it can provide for the citizens. But that power needs to be under control. The framers of the Constitution took an approach from game theory when they were writing it. They put a series of checks and balances in place to ensure that no one branch had too much power over another. And what's more, if it's not explicitly laid out in the Constitution, that branch of the government can't do it. If they decide that they can do it anyway, we have what's called a constitutional crisis on our hands. And that's not really fun for anyone, except maybe the constitutional lawyers who have to adjudicate such matters. In contrast, the Bill of Rights, the other half of the Constitution, is a list of things that American citizens have freedom from and protection from. Those are negative liberties. Rather than enumerate all of the distinct liberties that a citizen has, and by extension the different things that the government has to protect, the Bill of Rights says what can't be infringed on. For example, American citizens don't have to quarter soldiers. They also don't have to moderate or censor their speech based on government doctrines. The lasting power of the Bill of Rights comes precisely from these negative definitions of liberty. Because we lay out the rights we want to protect in the Bill of Rights, we can update it as time progresses as well. There have been amendments to abolish slavery or give women the right to vote, and so on. Let's consider a possible future where sentient robots participate in our society. They're as smart and as numerous as we are, but they don't have political agency. We could, in theory, provide an amendment to the Constitution that gives robots the right to vote or even become president. I, for one, welcome our robot overlords. All jokes aside, this dynamic tension between positive and negative forces is what really allows for resilience on the part of the Constitution. If we didn't have such a clear and direct definition of the way government would be set up, and the interplay between the different branches of government, our government wouldn't be as strong. This means we wouldn't be able to get as much cool stuff done. The massive infrastructural projects that happened in the 20th century wouldn't have been possible without a strong central government. Conversely, if we didn't have that negative definition of liberty and the ability to grow and change that definition over time, we wouldn't have as many of the rights and privileges that we hold so dear as citizens. And we wouldn't be able to adapt our system of governance to new ideas, major political or ideological changes in the world. You keep hearing me say liberty. Let's hold up. What does liberty mean? Liberty is the ability to act freely in society, without oppressive restrictions governing what you do. Essentially, it's freedom. The establishment of that dialectic of positive and negative power within the Constitution is such an amazing tool. It allows for a strong central government that maximizes individual liberties. And if either of those key ideas doesn't play out in the way we would expect, we can improve our country's principles over time, growing them to fit our needs through amendments. That's why America is so frequently referred to as a grand experiment, because of this constant process of iteration and improvement. Ultimately, that's why the Constitution is still relevant today. It's our history, sure, but it's our future too.
How did you love, Isabella Ring? Your song was so amazing. It was great to have a refresher. What a strong voice you have. And what a clever song. Really, 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 really delightful. Very professional. Very wonderful voice. Did you love Olga and Crease's I am freedom, I am knowledge, one begets the other? I thought that was really terrific. And the emoji, the Constitution and emoji. How much fun we've had. How creative are these students? So creative and professional. As I say, professional, poetic, and patriotic. They're just as good as Hollywood or Nashville or anywhere else. If you would like to contribute tonight, $10, $20, become a monthly sustaining member, which is kind of cool. One-time donation. You just hit this little scan, donate to scan here. You hold your phone up, your camera and your phone up to that little gadget, that QR code, and the link comes up. It's magic. You can dial and talk to Jeanette, 937-0917. She's had a lot of fun talking with people tonight. 888-937-0917. Or you can text Constituting USA to the phone number 51555. We always do that in Hollywood. You ever notice when they dial numbers in Hollywood? We always have to do 555 to start the phone number, because you didn't want to actually dial somebody's number that's out there, that lives up there in the world. So we always have to go 555. Yes, we did. So our number is 51555. All right, see you in about 9 minutes.
Some people cross their hearts, some look for a sign, and others fall to their knees and pray to the sky. Yet some will say there is no way to show your faith in any public place. You're free to believe what you want, 'cause this is America. You're free to believe what you wish, 'cause this is America. Some hear the angels sing when loved ones pass on, and some people don't believe in anything at all. Yet some will say there is no way to show your faith in any public place. You're free to believe what you want, 'cause this is America. You're free to believe what you wish, 'cause this is America. You're free to believe what you want, 'cause this is America. You're free to believe what you wish, 'cause this is America. Some people think we're just bits of starlight. Oh, no matter your belief, there's no wrong or right. You're free to believe what you want, 'cause this is America. You're free to believe what you wish, 'cause this is America. You're free to believe
Do you know what constitutes our Constitution? This living document that's a fusion of our forefathers' vision for the future of this nation? We have a Bill of Rights. We're not built for these rights, but we've been given these rights because we live. We don't have to pay every day when we don't watch what we say. A penny for our thoughts is not what we give, but we give off our thoughts by the way that we live. And there are soldiers who've died, men and women who've paid the price, in the blink of an eye given their lives to make our lives nice. And we can't fight to preserve these rights, to reach new heights, get through the darkest nights together if we don't know. We the people, we the future, can't make it right if we don't show an interest in learning the script that governs our lives. So forgive me if I'm wrong, but if you belong to this country, then there are rights that belong to you so long as you do one thing. You know your Constitution and your freedom that it brings. You can't fight for what's right. You can't find a flaw if you've never shed light on the supreme law of the land. The land of the free and the home of the brave requires your knowledge and God's good grace in order to save our human race in the face of terror. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you need to choose what you're going to do because you could lose everything.
Hey you! Stop and listen. This is a public service announcement with Dakari Chapman. Why should you know your Constitution and why should you know your rights as a U.S. citizen? How would you like it if someone didn't allow your club to meet at your house? I wouldn't because that's not cool. How would you like to be tried without a jury? I wouldn't because that's not cool. These things are not cool. Learn your rights as a U.S. citizen so you know what to do in these situations. Thanks for listening, and remember, it's an American thing, so learn it. Hello, Charleston. My name is Dakari Chapman, and I'm on the National Youth Advisory Board for Constituting America. I won the 2017 Best High School PSA. Today, we're going to be shooting street interviews in Charleston with tourists and just regular Charleston natives. So we're going to be asking them American history questions. Basically, if they get the question right, they get $5. If they get the question incorrect, they donate any amount of their choosing to Constituting America. So we hope everything goes well today. Okay, so we're here in Charleston, South Carolina with
Finn.
Finn. Okay, so what is the supreme law of the land?
I have no idea. Wait. Supreme law of the land?
Yeah.
I don't know. The Constitution.
There we go. All right, so we're here again with the father of the clan. What's your name, sir?
John.
The U.S. House of Representatives has how many voting members?
435.
Correct. So we're with
Lewis.
Lewis here. Can you recite the preamble of the Constitution?
I cannot. That's the
first three letters.
I don't even remember what the preamble calls. Honestly, I'm not good at politics and constitution type subjects.
All right, so we're here in Charleston again with another street interview. We're with
Kaylee.
Alex.
U.S. senators' terms are for how long?
Oh my.
2 years.
Incorrect, sir.
Man, that's unfortunate. I thought it was 2 years.
No, that's way longer than that.
Is it?
It is. Well, you've already gotten it incorrect, but let's see if you can get it right.
For state then?
No.
Is that what it is?
No, it's like years. Like they're all really, really old
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Um,
So Alex already got it incorrect. Let's see if you can get it right.
You go 4 or 8?
no, it's like longer. 8, 10 years?
10 is incorrect.
What is it?
It is 6 years.
6 years.
Right in the middle.
I knew
Awesome.
it was longer.
How many houses are in Charleston, South Carolina? Okay, you don't want to answer that one either? Okay, let's see. How many carriage steps are there in Charleston, South Carolina? All right, well, we're here in Heaven Sent store in this Charleston City Market, and we're here with Mr.
Asar Vandross.
What are the rights granted in the Declaration of Independence?
Those rights would be the rights of happiness, liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But they should have added justice, don't you think?
know,
But we
justice.
just automatically assume that, you know,
We have justice.
that we have justice. Something like that shouldn't have to be, you know, written in the Constitution because it's understood that we are in a just country.
Yes.
Thank you all for joining me in the beautiful city of Charleston today doing street interviews for Constituting America. And I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, it's an American thing, so learn it.
Wasn't that fun? His man on the street. And I think it's so funny when the young woman says she's guessing how many years senators are in office, and she goes, "Oh, I don't know, 10 years." They're all really old. I always think that's funny. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I want to thank everyone for watching our Independence Day program. We're going to be doing this again on Constitution Day, but you will have the students on to mentor others. And we hope you learned a little something about our great country, and we're inspired to join our efforts. And we thank you that you did. We're in the process of planning our winter's trip to Washington, D.C., and we're so grateful to be able to provide one-of-a-kind opportunities like these to our students, winning students. And if you know any young professionals with a passion for this country, encourage them to submit to our We the Future contest. Entries are due September 17th. And remember, you can donate anytime at Constituting America or AmericanThing.org. I thank you so very much for helping us meet our goal tonight. And I hope you enjoyed all the movies. And now we're going to close with Jacob Wood's song, What the Constitution Means to Me. It's a video that yours truly filmed. Join us for our constitutional chats on Tuesdays at 2 Eastern. And all the other amazing things we do. You can learn about all of them at AmericanThing.org or ConstitutingAmerica.org. Okay, thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you, Isabella. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you to all of our winners. Thank you to you for watching tonight, and for all of our donors for making we reached our goal. So it's fantastic. And we're going to close with this fantastic song. Actually, it did really wonderfully on the radio too, because donations like yours made it possible. We could hire a company to promote his song on the radio. What the Constitution Means to Me, but he kind of has an Elvis thing going. So I hope you enjoy it. All right, we're going to go out after this, but don't go away till you watch the song. Good night. Action.
People of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice and secure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty, to ordain and establish this Constitution. These precious words are what form this share bones of a large tree.